Hey everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here. It is the weekend, February 22nd. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. This, of course, is the weekend video. This is where we take a look at what happened last week, quick review, and then we take a look ahead and see what we got coming up this week. And on deck, we've got NVIDIA earnings Wednesday and also some inflation data, PCE, on Friday. But let's get started and take a look at what happened last week. It was a crazy week. All right, so let's start out, as we always do, taking a quick look at what happened last week in the markets. They really took a tumble on Friday, and of course that was sort of all information that I think had building up until investors really decided to hit the sell button. Some of those factors included sort of the weakening consumer sentiment, the weakening economic data that came out, Fed on Wednesday indicating they weren't ready to cut rates any further until they see more progress on inflation. This ongoing talk about tariffs and what that might mean to the economy, including the potential retaliation, and then a warning from Walmart topping sort of the icing on the cake, saying that they didn't know or had some questions about what their earnings were going to look like in 2025. And of course, that just started the markets really selling off and accelerating into the afternoon there. So as you can see there, all the indexes were down. They're kind of matching what they were up the previous week. So kind of no headway over the last 2 weeks. Healthcare and utilities, of course, the safe haven trades, they managed to squeak out some gains this week. As well as staples. I didn't put staples in there, but they were a gainer as well. Communication services and discretionary, of course, they were the sectors that were the most down on the week. 2-year run, a little down a little bit, 10-year down a little bit. You can't really say that was much of a move. 10-year down just a little bit. The dollar's still hanging in there with some strength, and Bitcoin kind of flattening out here, not really making much of a move over the weekend. So that was your week in review, and it was quite the week. And this is where we pause to do a quick plug for my books that are available on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. I've been going over these swing trade opportunities for a number of years now on this channel. I had a lot of good trades, and I'll talk about in these books how I pick these trades and how I manage them. So you can check that out, How to Swing Trade or Profiting as an Active Trader, a little bit more of a deep dive into active trading. And then if you really want to move your trading forward, you can always check out How to Trade Options. I talk about the A to Z to options and include some strategies that I use both day trading and swing trading for using options as another financial tool. So you can check them out there, and they're available on Amazon in every format, electronic, audio, or hard copy. All right, getting down and starting to look at some of the indexes here. You can see this is the fear indicator, the VIX, and this is the tradable VIX. And you can see here we did pop up quite a bit on Friday. Not a huge amount, I mean, given the sell-off that we had. And you have to remember the Dow, the 700 points on the Dow, a lot of it was accounted by and for some specific trades like Walmart and UNH probably contributed significantly to that number of points that the Dow was down. TLT, it certainly looks like, given all the weak economic data, that the price of the bonds looks like it's getting ready to break out here, which means yields could start to break down. We are sort of at an area of prior resistance, and we'll be keeping an eye on that next week as the week progresses to see if yields continue to drop and the price of the bonds continue to maybe to rally here. UUP, the dollar has been in a bit of a downtrend here, although this week didn't really move one way much or the other. It's kind of still in a downtrend. You can see here on Friday, we did get back to previous highs during the week on the Qs, and really this Friday sell-off was pretty incredible and sort of noteworthy, I would say. Seems to be a lot of uncertainty, and I think I'm a little bit negative on the market right now. I think we're going to see maybe some more downside. But with increased volatility, you also get rallies, and then sell-off. So definitely looking like we're going to get into some more volatility. Same story on the SPY. Broke out to a new high and could not hold that. So sort of what we call a pierce and fail. So tried to break out. Buyers weren't there to keep that price moving forward, and we really sunk right back into this area of prior support, I would say, sort of saying next levels down here could be 590, 591 on the SPY, and then there's 585. So possible more downside on the SPY. And you can see here the Dow really took the brunt of this. And again, the Dow's only made up of 30 stocks, and so when you get a couple stocks that are really getting hammered, then that really can impact the index quite a bit, the Dow. And as far as IWM goes, again, really we didn't even get back up to challenge this high that last week like we did with the rest of the indexes, and you can see we really fell right down. We fell through an area of support here, which was around 220, and next area of support here could be down at 215, 214, kind of in this area right here. So looking for maybe more downside there as well. As far as Bitcoin goes, it's been pretty stable over the last couple of weeks here. Hasn't really moved much. We're sitting around 96,700, and just seems like it's kind of biding time, and we'll see what happens as we continue to sort of trade in this range. It'll eventually break out, just a matter of when. All right, so let's go over some of the current trades we've got on and some of the trades we did last week. As you know, I took an NVIDIA trade, held it over the weekend. I was looking for 142, and that's pretty much what we got. 142, I sold out of the rest of it on this nice little pop-up, took it here on this breakout, and then we got that nice pop-up on Tuesday when the market opened, and that's basically when I sold it, and we've rolled over now, and I am out of that trade, but got a nice little move on that one. UVXY, this was a trade that didn't work out. I was holding it over the weekend, and of course it didn't gap up like I was hoping it to, so I just had to get out of that trade early. GDX, I've been in this trade. I've taken some off, and we really rolled over on Friday. I'm still holding a little bit of it, but I don't like the fact that it's lost this moving average. And it doesn't matter what gold does. If you've got a market that's really hell-bent on going down, you're going to sell everything. They're going to sell everything. They're going to sell this GDX's senior miners. It doesn't matter if gold's going up. This will get sold with the rest of the market. So pins and needles on that one. Still hanging on to this. It didn't quite break, hasn't quite broken down, but keeping an eye on it. 26 is kind of where I'm going to eventually bail on it if we get stopped out. And TD, I'm still, as you know, I'm still holding on to that one. But again, it took a hit Friday with the rest of the market, and I may end up having to bail on it if it does start to drop below this moving average early next week. So keeping an eye on TD, but you know, having a nice run from back here. That's where I was holding it. Kind of sat through this dip, sold a few calls against it as I was waiting, and you can read about that, how to sell covered calls to collect premium. And yeah, I got a nice move back up here above where I got in, and so still sitting a little profitable there on that trade, and getting ready to bail if it starts to roll over here. And it kind of looks like maybe double top. I know they're reporting next week. I will not make the same mistake again. This is where I held through a report. I will be getting out of it next week. I think they report on Thursday. Okay, so let's talk about next week. And I'm going to start out by saying I am not optimistic about next week. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We saw what happened on Friday with this big sell-off, and I'm thinking there's going to be a lot more volatility in the coming weeks, more related to geopolitical events, etc. So that's my view. I mean, don't take that one to the bank, but that's just my view. It's easy to listen to somebody and get all bullish or bearish depending on what they're saying, but you make your own assessment, and that's mine, I guess. And also, it's kind of funny. I was reading about um, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's raising cash like crazy here. So maybe it's his view as well. Nobody knows for sure. Anyway, let's take a look at a few stocks here that I will be watching. PLTR, we're right at an area here where that's pretty key support. And if we start making our way through here, we could be heading back down to this level, down to about $83, $85. We get back and fill this gap here. Markets typically don't like big gaps between prices, and quite often they get filled. And you can read about that in my swing trade books. So, and you can see here what happened to PLTR. Talks about cutting in defense spending, and of course PLTR is heavily dependent on that. So a little bit of concern there with PLTR, obviously. So thinking it might be able to retrace that, go through that gap here. Here's another one that's trading right at support, Amazon. Again, not really sure where this is going to go, if we're going to get a bounce Monday. But you can see the moving averages have crossed. We are definitely in a downtrend on Amazon, but right at an area of support. So keep an eye on that. Could be either good for a bounce, maybe get back to these moving averages, or if we continue to sell off here, this 200 level could be in play. Reddit, this is another one. I put a trade on and then took it off right away because I was looking at it holding this sort of 180 level, but it was green. That my trade was green for a while, but then it went red, and I just cut it. So Reddit looking more for more downside here, maybe down to this 157 level, and then if that doesn't hold, then maybe 140s. But I think Reddit long term has some potential, but I think we have to get through this period of geopolitical unrest and instability. Meta, and talk about someone who's maybe not confident in the market. We went through this in the room on Friday, or I think it was, Friday, I think it was, or Thursday. Mark Zuckerberg has been just dumping shares like crazy. Now directors and insiders sell shares for all sorts of reasons and just want to collect some money. But I figure he sold about 700 million shares over the last month. If you can look up that on a thing like FinViz, you can look at insider trading there. But do the math: $700 times 700 million. He's got quite the bank account there. But in terms of where the price could be going, I mean, there's 635 right there, and some gaps here that could be filled. 660. So watching Meta. And finally, Uber has I think has some good future here, but again, this 73 area, 74 area could be an area where we've seen resistance here. If you go back, support here. So again, this is an area where you could find some bargain hunting. So again, looking for more volatility, possible market sell-off. I am raising cash right now. I don't see a reason for the market to go higher. I see a whole lot of reasons for market to go lower. So again, I'm really lightening up in my positions and sticking with dividend stocks, which are a little bit more protected. But I don't know your financial position. I'm not advising you what to do here. That's just what I'm doing. So we'll see what happens next week. It's going to be, I think, if nothing else, I can pretty much guarantee you it is going to be a volatile week. So that's it. So let's wrap things up here, starting from the week of the 24th, Monday. Here's your levels on the Dow, Q, SPY, and IWM with support and resistance levels. And as far as economics events go, really nothing on Monday. We do have some stuff here on Tuesday, consumer confidence at 10. New home sales 10 on Wednesday. I think the big one that's going to come up here is on Friday, PCE data. That is, of course, the Fed's favored inflation indicator. So we will see how that comes out. Everybody's going to be watching for that number for sure, and business barometer at 9:45. As far as earnings go, we do have a few interesting ones. Hims has been on a real tear, and then they got really sold off on Friday on some news that on the GLP-1 drugs, and of course the big ones that are coming up here. Well, we've got Home Depot Tuesday morning, and then we've got Nvidia at 4:20 on Wednesday afternoon. We will be doing a aftermarket show live on YouTube, so if you want to tune in for that, we've got CRM right at the close, Snow and AI as well. Should be an interesting close on Wednesday, so join us live on YouTube for that. We've got cruise line, Norwegian, the morning on Thursday, Dell and Sound. That'll be interesting. So there you go. And we're going out there with a big whoosh. Hope everyone's going to have a good rest of the weekend. And don't forget, join us Monday morning for 8 o'clock. We will be starting our pre-market show. And I think it's going to be another extremely volatile week. Take care, everybody. See you Monday morning.